Record. All right, welcome to our team call. This is actually going to be kind of quick, mostly because I have children that need to get picked up. But so I'll just throw out my 2 cents, and then you guys can add to it, and then we can just kind of take it from there. But basically, this call is kind of with the new upcoming Ultimate Fix that was just released, which the Ultimate Portion Fix, which is really, really exciting. And I think that sometimes like the biggest struggle I have is getting behind a new launch, because I'm either not ready for it or I'm just like waiting. And that's been a mistake of mine in my business repeatedly. And when I do embrace a launch and I talk about it and I invite to it and I'm very specific, I think I like to just be really generic, like, oh, a boot camp, versus getting really specific. But when you do shift your inviting to be super specific, I think it adds a momentum. It gets you excited. It gets them excited. People can feel it. They want to be part of something. People start having FOMO, all the things. So that being said, April 15th is when this team is going to be hosting the Ultimate Portion Fix in the Tracker app. All the work is pretty much already done for us as far as the posting goes, because Autumn and Beachbody put together 2 weeks of the prepping, and the prepping really is the workshop itself. Like, the prepping is watching the videos, taking homework down, like doing all the things. And so those 2 weeks are super important. So we have 2 weeks of the prepping and then 4 weeks of the rest of the program, like the reinforcing and putting it into practice and all of that. So one thing that I've done, and I noticed that a lot of you guys did this too, which is awesome. And P.S., it was not my idea. Although some of the team was like, oh, I loved how you had like the portion containers and you were smiling. I'm going to attach that below this recording when I post it in the group, so you guys can see that if you missed it. But I totally took it from other coaches because it's beautiful. Like, you see the rainbow and it's so pretty and it's so fun. And then you get really specific, like, this is exciting. And here's the thing, Autumn talks about this. I hope you guys know there's like a whole story guide. There's a whole posting guide in the program itself if you're doing the certification. If you're not doing the certification, that's fine, because hopefully those of us who are going to be good examples on how to post about this. So I think if we all just kind of share what we're doing, maybe in the comments of this, like any of the posts that you have that are Portion Fix specific, then we can kind of glean from each other and, copy, paste, make it your own, whatever. I know that for some people, you're already awesome at your nutrition. Like, you followed 21 Day Fix when it came out. You're doing awesome. The containers are your thing. So that would be a good time to make a post about how it has helped you already. Like where you were at and how it helped you. And I love that there are a lot of people that are able to do that. For me personally, it was reality check. I have not been super great with my nutrition since the new year. And so for me, I want to be like super honest, right? So I'm like, I have to go back to the basics. I have to go back to the basics, revamp my nutrition again. And then that's how I introduced, like, this is why I'm doing this. Come and do it with me, kind of a mentality on that one. So you kind of have like a mix, but the important thing is to be really honest, because if you're preaching that you have the whole nutrition thing figured out and you don't, people can tell. And if you're telling people like, okay, well, I struggle here, but like, look, I've improved a ton, they can tell that too. And so just being like really honest and, kind of being your own voice, especially if you see other posts. A lot of the posts are going to look similar, actually. So you just pull. Stacy, your little boy, is so cute. He's adorable. Hey, buddy. So speaking of back to the basics, I kind of ramble, and I was really hoping to have my slides done, but they're just not done. So I'll just attach them. But I am not a super high Success Club earner, okay? It's not my invite process. I actually think my inviting process is pretty good. It's a numbers thing. So it's that I don't do it as consistently as I should, or do it as, invite to more people than I should. And so than I need to, I should say. And so for me, when I think back to the basics with nutrition, I'm also trying to get back to the basics with making sure those invites are happening every day. And also back to the basics as far as, what was it? It was inviting nutrition. Oh, and working on myself and really sharing that, like being really open about the struggles. And I feel like Ultimate Portion Fix is the perfect helper in that, I guess. Like it helps us be open. It helps us have something to invite to, and it helps. So, okay, blah, blah, blah. Let me get into the thing. I don't know why I get nervous talking to you guys. It's so silly, huh? Let me exit my full screen so I can at least see my notes. So the thing that's tricky, I find, about inviting to something specific that's separate from the boot camp is that I don't like confusing the people who I'm talking to. So I don't like confusing people who are like, okay, wait a minute, this is different than your boot camps, like what's going on here? And then I don't like my invites to be confusing. So one thing that I did that was really, really helpful is I did a poll, and everybody should do that this week on your stories, since our challenge group, our 21-day boot camp is starting on Monday. I talked for a minute about how I struggle with nutrition. I did a poll that said, do you struggle more with fitness or with nutrition? And surprisingly, I actually had like 9 or 10 people say fitness that I have not worked with before. And I was surprised by that, to be honest, because I just kind of figure, I don't know why I think everyone has it figured out, because I struggle more with food. So those people didn't get an Ultimate Portion Fix invite. Those people got my regular old invite, like, thanks for watching my stories. I am getting my boot camp together. It's for all fit levels. I know that they struggle with fitness. This means they're probably intimidated by us, okay, by the whole idea of consistent workout. And so I wonder if I'm going to post what I'm saying, okay, underneath so you guys can see it. And I'm just like, hey, it's just a fun place, no pressure. It's really cool if it isn't your thing, but I wanted to make sure you know you're invited. And anytime I do a poll, I always add, P.S. if that was an accidental click on the poll, no worries. I do it too, laugh face, but I wanted to connect either way. What do you think? So it's just like super, you know what I mean? Like super chill. And so that's who I sent the fitness ones to. And then the nutrition ones, which was like 90% of the people that responded, I sent something like this. I said, and I'll post this. I said, hey, I noticed on my poll yesterday, you voted that food is a struggle. I just wanted to say me too, LOL. It's actually why I'm going back to the basics and mastering this whole food plan, prep, eat thing once and for all. Any interest in doing it with me? Question mark. P.S. blah, blah, blah about the poll. Here's the thing. My original invite to those people was a lot longer. I like threw up, like I was typing it out, rough drafting it out, and I was like, oh, it's a 6-week course. It's containers, it's portion control, it's blah, blah, blah. And then I stopped and I was like, that would freak people out. So instead, I was just like, I want to master it. I can relate to you. Do you want to do it with me? That's it. And I have actually had quite a few responses. People are like, I don't know, like that was not accidental. Or they're like, it was an accidental click, but actually nutrition is really hard for me. Like, what exactly does it entail? And that's when I can go into a little bit more of the details, which I also kind of hold back sometimes everything too fast too from that. And that's where I'm like really uncomfortable with screen sharing because I'm terrible at it. Hold on. Okay. I am just going to share this conversation. I realize this will be on YouTube, but like literally only our team watches this, so it's okay. And Julie is a sister of a sister-in-law, so I feel like it's fine. Okay, so this is a conversation I had after I made a post, okay? But this is also what I might send after somebody says, I am curious, let me know. So this is after the initial, somebody has asked me for details, then this is what I'm saying. I'm like, hey, we're gonna be starting April 15th. Everybody wants to know when it's gonna start and how long it's gonna be. And I kind of approach it like, this is the details. Can you commit to that? And I kind of place it over on them to take responsibility. So I'm like, there's videos and workbooks. You can tell that it's like super skeleton-ish. And it's not a lot of nitty gritties. I do tell her there's different options, and then I'll grab the links so that she can see it. Most of the time, you guys, in a regular boot camp, I don't share a link until we've already discussed price and what they're getting. But for this, I feel like the link is awesome because it shows you all the workbooks, all the videos, like I feel like you open it up and you're like, wow, like that's what I would be getting. I don't know. There's just a different feel than a regular challenge pack. I don't know if you guys agree, and you do not have to agree. I'm just telling you my 2 cents. So anyway, and then I ask them what they're struggling with. This is all copy and pasted. So like about the new test group, that's all copy and pasted. Once I know what they're struggling with, okay, she has a weird eating schedule, she has, a sugar addiction, all the things, I'm like, hey, I know this struggle. And you know what? Most of the time, the people who are sharing their struggles, I do have a similar struggle in some degree. I can relate to them. So I think it's important that you first address that. And yes, Weston is who caused my sugar addiction, just so you guys know. So this is truth. And then I kind of tell her why I'm still going to do it anyway. Like, I feel like for me, I just need help with understanding how to meal plan. This program does require a bit of work though. So then I kind of place it back on her again. There are 2 weeks of short videos, 4 weeks of applying it. And then once they respond, like totally the whole meal planning prep thing is definitely a downfall of mine. I say, okay, I'm super pumped. I honestly think this is going to be a game changer for us because we're in it together for us. And then I break down the price and I show her the link. So I don't know. The only reason I say the link is either that or I feel like maybe you could take some sort of picture of your stuff and send it to them. So some sort of visual aid, I feel like, to see what they're getting. That's just kind of like, I don't know if you guys, and then if you knew this family, you'd know they end up in the emergency room all the time. But so she's like, well, how long is the promo going for? So then I looked it up and apparently it's going this entire month, guys. For some reason, I thought that it wasn't. So, but lo and behold, it is. So here we go. And basically I just let them know, look, you have until the end of this week to order because you're going to want your stuff in time to do the work. Okay. And so then obviously this is still not a closed out deal because she's still thinking about it. Even though she says she's going to do it, that just means she's seriously thinking about it. So until it's done, that's kind of where it's at. I'm going to stop the share. I see that there's a conversation going on.
Sorry, it's just me saying hi to Kimmy.
Oh, I'm like, well, so all of my conversations look in some degree that way. That's the progression of them. They just look a little bit different depending on what they're struggling with. Does that make sense? And I do personalize it to them. I just kind of make sure, that kind of thing. And as far as my regular invites go, it just depends when I set this is how I'm doing my invites right now, you guys, and it's actually working really well for me. I used to drink my Energize while I was going through my Miracle Morning. Now I do my Miracle Morning and then mix my Energize. And I have until that Energize hits my body to send out all my invites. So for me, it just sets me up for success right away. And so when you're trying to decide what am I inviting them to, the boot camp or the Ultimate Portion Fix, it is, I go to the post that I made about Ultimate Portion Fix. Okay. Or I go to my stories and I see what stories are they interacting with and what are they watching? What would benefit this person more, the fitness or nutrition? By the way, you guys, I've been able to reach people who already have fitness covered. Like before I was like, I don't really know what I have to offer you for value. If you're already like, you're golden in your fitness, you're golden in like your nutrition, like you don't really need anything, but you want the community still. And I've been able to go back and be like, hey, I know you got your fitness worked out. What about your nutrition? Would you want to maybe tackle that with me? So there's that too. I'm kind of rambling, but so the plan is calendar wise for the rest of this week to be kind of double inviting. So inviting either to the boot camp that starts on Monday or to the Ultimate Portion Fix that starts on the 15th, just depending on which posts they're interacting with, what stories they're interacting with, and that kind of thing. So that's kind of this week. But every post I make between now and the end of the week is going to have some sort of blurb in it. Doesn't even have to be an actual invite, but some sort of blurb about like, hey, I'm getting back on track with my nutrition. It feels good. Or something that is going to be kind of gearing up. And then next week, our boot camp's going to be set, which means it's going to be all about the Portion Fix. And for those of you who already have it, which everybody probably does, I'm assuming, next week is when I'm going to be sharing recipes that we're using, how I have asked my kids to go through the recipe book and show me what they'll eat. I have my kids actually star next to the food groups, next to the containers, which vegetables, which carbs, which things that they would eat. So then when I'm meal planning, I can go in and be like, okay, my kids said that they would eat X, Y, and Z, or try X, Y, and Z. And so I'm kind of giving them more responsibility. So I'm going to be sharing that with people. Basically, I'm going to be doing the program, and I'm going to be sharing that every single day next week so that people are like, huh, okay. And it's not necessarily going to be a post just like the containers that I did on Sunday, but it's going to be some sort of invite included. And then all the work really happens behind the scenes, of course, with the inviting. And that way you know who you can invite because they're the ones interacting on your posts. So I hope I didn't ramble too much and that made some sort of sense. But that's just kind of how I'm approaching the Ultimate Portion Fix, but also still inviting to the boot camp until that's kind of exhausted. And then, of course, once April 15th starts, I'm going to be starting talking about coaching for the rest of the month. So that's kind of the calendar as far as that goes. Hopefully that makes sense. So
Can I jump in a little bit, Amber?
I'm totally going to throw it over to you, actually. So I'm like done. So you can add whatever. Everybody can say what they're doing because I really don't feel like there's one right or wrong way to this. So it was just one example.
Totally. I love how you invite, and I love, love, love your poll. I wrote it down. Do you struggle more with food or fitness? Totally going to use that. I think that's so great. I'll admit I'm not inviting to our April boot camp at all. I'm kind of just following up with everyone who is in my March one and moving them right through to the April one unless they want to jump to Ultimate Portion Fix. But I'm focusing all of my posts and all of my inviting on Ultimate Portion Fix. Now, if I come across someone who's like, that just sounds a little bit too intense, I don't know if I'm quite ready to be that particular with nutrition, then obviously I've got my April boot camp, right? That I can just kind of say, okay, well, let's take a step back and look into this instead. But another thing that I've been doing that's been working really well is following up with all of my old coach invites. So people who have talked to me about coaching before, I kind of had the same idea for a minute to wait till after we get this going to really talk about coaching and do the coach open house that I've been doing monthly. But talking about it right now, about the coach opportunity, I have 2 or 3 girls who are really, really considering it because this is a great time for them to jump in and quickly start inviting their friends to jump in and do it with us. And in a week and a half, if people are willing to jump in and start inviting and start posting and start talking about how they're about to start this fitness or this nutrition journey, there's no doubt that brand new coaches who are signing right now can hit Success Club and earn their investment back before the Ultimate Portion Fix even begins. So that's been, and I've actually had a couple of girls reach out to me who I hadn't even they weren't even on my radar at all. So don't be afraid to talk about coaching right now too. And I think, I don't know, do it in your posts too, or just personal invites. I'm really focusing my coach invites right now in personal invites. But I think this is a great opportunity to get coaches started right too with a launch. Because the fact is, a lot of the people who follow us also have other Beachbody coaches in their feed. The only one on here who might not is Sean because she's in the UK and it's still so new in the UK that I'm sure her friends are seeing her posts going, wait a second, what is Sean doing? What is she drinking? What are these at-home workouts? She's probably the only one of us who has people following her and friends following her who don't know what Beachbody is. Like, they are brand new to it. And that's how we were 5 years ago, like when I first started, which is a fun place to be because it's like opening up there and it's super exciting.
Hey,
So
sorry
yeah?
to interrupt. I just have to run really fast. So if it's still on, I'll jump back on. But
Okay, you're good.
I'm just going to pass it over to you.
Sounds good. So Sean can basically post whatever she wants and people are going to be like, wait, what are you doing? Whereas for us, we have a lot of people who are probably watching a lot of coaches, which is why I think it's extra important for us to really jump on these launches because they're seeing it from other coaches. They're probably seeing it in their feed in other places. And if we're not talking about it, but they're seeing it everywhere else and they're getting curious about it everywhere else, they're going to go to that other coach. They're going to go to someone else who is posting a lot about it and getting excited about it. So I am all about getting behind these launches. I'll tell you, there are a couple of different ways that I've been talking about it and posting about it. One, I did yesterday, the good old post with the containers. The problem is for me is I have this great big belly and I think people like the picture because of the belly, not because of what I'm writing or like, so like I'm writing to people and they're like, oh, I just liked it because of your cute belly. I'm like, that's so nice of you. Don't you want to work on your nutrition? Like, so that's something I just have to like figure out. But I did get a handful of people who were like, all right, talk to me, a couple of messages. I went live last week, just live on Facebook. I went longer than I meant to. I say keep it to 5 minutes tops. Mine was like 11 minutes because I babbled too much. But I went live and I literally showed the containers. I showed the daily logbook. I showed the new cookbook. I showed the workbook. And I talked about the videos. And just going live on Facebook, which I have not been great at doing recently, but going live, again, I have a handful of other people who reached out and were interested. I think going live on Instagram is important. I haven't done a live Instagram. I've just done Instagram stories, 15-minute clips to talk about it. But I need to go live on Instagram too. And then, and obviously stories, like doing the Instagram stories as well. So we have tons of different avenues that we can go to be promoting this and talking about it and hyping people up and getting people excited. And I just encourage you guys to figure out which avenues you want to work and if possible, like work them all because there are different people watching us on different platforms who are going to get different things from us. And the other thing too, I think sometimes I like put up one post or two posts and I'm kind of like, all right, I'll work with whoever comments on those. We need to be talking about this and posting about it like all the time. So I just put one up yesterday. I'll probably put up another post about it tomorrow. And today I'll just do some of my other, whatever life posts. But my stories are always going to have something in them about Ultimate Portion Fix. And don't look at it right now because it doesn't this very second. I'm going to do that as soon as I'm done here. But I encourage you as well. So I watched Brigida, her stories on the Ultimate Portion Fix the other day. And I was like, I'm just going to copy and save some of these pictures and use them because they were so good. And I think that's totally like there are a few parts that I'll cover up with my own words and have it come from me and things like that. But there are some really great before and afters out there. People love before and afters, you guys. They want to be able to see visually that this is going to work for them. There are some really great, there are just some really great post ideas. So I encourage you to don't get lost in following top coaches. Don't start playing the comparison game in following top coaches. But if you have one or two top coaches who you really like following, check out their stuff, see what they're doing, and use it as research. Like figure out how you can use that and how you can implement that. I'm excited to get on my stories right after this and just just go on with that. One other thing I would say too, and I learned this on, I can't remember what team call it was. There was some kind of a call, a training call. But oftentimes I will be doing, like I'll do a bunch of clips on stories and then I'll put my poll in at the end. And like my polls would, I'd get some people that would comment. But this girl, I think she's like a 6 or 7 star diamond. she said that she puts polls in all throughout her stories. So if she has like 6, 7, 8 stories, she'll put in 3 or 4, like one towards the beginning, in the middle. And anyways, I've started doing that more, and I have so many more people who are commenting, like who are voting on those polls, and so many more people to talk to than I ever did before. I think like sometimes they watch the whole thing, maybe they watch the whole thing, and when they get to the end, like if they miss the poll and don't do it, it's not like they're not gonna go back and vote on the poll. But if they have a couple of polls along the way, more people definitely respond to those. So consider that when you're doing your Instagram stories, putting more polls in. 2 days ago, I put up polls like, what do you struggle, like as I'm talking in my Instagram story, I'd have a little poll down in the corner. One of them said something like, what do you struggle with more, emotional eating or sugar addiction, or something like that. So I got a ton of people responding to that one. And then like 2 stories later, I had another poll about, I don't even remember now what all of my polls were, but they were just kind of little things like that had to do with nutrition, little things that this program can address and will help them with. And then of course, one of those last polls was basically like, do you want in? Like, do you want to do this with us? So take advantage of all of those different little aspects of social media, because there are definitely a lot of different avenues that we can use to talk about the program and to share the program and to get people excited about the program. Was I going to say anything else? I can't think of anything else. All right, questions. Kim, that's kind of cool. The ape's been following me and talks to you about what I'm doing. That, like, to me, I'm like, oh crap, I got to step up my game. I need to do better. One thing I'll say for sure is with, so I'm going to be induced in 6 weeks, you guys, 6 weeks from Friday. 6 weeks and 3 days, not that I'm counting them. But definitely having a plan is extra important for me right now, like having a weekly plan and like each day, what do I want to be talking about? Some weeks I'm better at that than others. It's been kind of a mess the past couple weeks as we've decided to move and try and get our house sold and things like that. But I can tell you those weeks where I spend an hour or 2 on like a Saturday morning planning out my week, man, those weeks are so much easier. Like they're so much better. If I have a day where I've got makeup on and my hair looks somewhat okay, and I will take like 12 to 15 different pictures, you guys. I'll change my shirt a couple times, take a bunch of different pictures, and that, because I don't know about you guys, but some days I'm like, I don't even have a picture to share on social media. Like I don't even know what I'm going to talk about, let alone what picture I'm going to share. So doing that when you have time, that helps to kind of organize your week as well. Anyways, I think I just thought, oh yeah, but my point is, if you can take the time to really kind of schedule out and visualize what you're going to do. The nice thing, okay, when I went to the New Leader Conference a couple years ago, Melanie Mitra spoke. She was the #1 coach like 4 years in a row, and #2 last year. But she talked about literally like she has a marketing plan. And I won't lie, like she's like business minded. Like the girl's making millions a year. So obviously she's like, this is her full-time gig. Like she very much has a business brain set. Like she's all business. And a teeny tiny part of me was like, oh man, I don't know. Like I've got a bunch of kids. This is just kind of my fun side hustle that I love, love, love. But honestly, we can take little bits from these like crazy, amazing businesswomen and utilize them and use them and turn this into more than just a little bit of a side hustle. And one of those things was a marketing plan. And it's something that I'm trying to get better at. But knowing, for example, that we've got the Ultimate Portion Fix coming up on the 15th, that gives us like, I mean, really, we should be hustling with our invites right now so that they're buying a week from now at the latest, so that they have all of their stuff on Monday, the 15th, so that they can jump right into the videos and be in a workbook. Of course, they'll have their videos the second that they purchase, but we want them to be able to have the workbook as well and have everything. So really, this is the week to be like busting our tails with invites. If we're used to inviting 2 to 3 people a day, we're doubling that to 5 or 6. If you're inviting 5 people a day, we're doubling that to 10. You know, like Amber said, it's a numbers game. And there are people, like, the thing that I love about this program. So here's the thing. Every single Beachbody program works, like every single one of them. If anybody follows the program, the nutrition, the workouts, the calendar, everything, they're going to see results. But I feel like not everyone loves like Shaun T or the step. Not everyone loves something intense like 80-day obsession and wants to do an hour-long workout. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I personally love working out, so I have yet to find a program that I absolutely hate, although Country Heat is probably my lowest. I'll admit it. I don't know. I can't wrap my head around that one as well. I still do it sometimes, but I'm like, but this is a program that literally every single person can use. Like Amber said, we've got friends who maybe are runners, who are into CrossFit, who don't want anything to, like, who love going to the gym. Okay, that's awesome. But they can use this. Like, everyone needs to figure out their eating. You know what I mean? So this is definitely a program that every single person in the world can benefit from and can see great results from. So it's definitely one to be excited about inviting people to be excited about talking about, and to really jump on board with this, this launch, basically. I mean, I know it's already launched, but it's still launching. And we can talk a lot about our April 15th start date. And one thing too, I'm going to throw out that I love mentioning when I'm talking to people about like the start date, is that we've got those 2 weeks prep to get us through all of the videos and all of the education behind it. But then we've got 30 days, and it literally takes us right up to the day before Memorial Day, which in America, that's like the unofficial beginning of summer. So this is like helping people really get on track with their nutrition before that season where they're out and about and in shorts and tank tops and swimming suits, and they want to feel more active and they want to feel healthier and better, and they want to be outside running with their kids. This, like, the timing of this challenge group is kind of perfect for that as well. So I like emphasizing that too. But anyways, I asked if there were any questions, and then I just kind of went off on a tangent. So are there any questions?
The only thing that it's not really a question, but I have people that already have the Ultimate Portion Fix, so I'm going to be in it in group, but I personally can't afford to get it yet. I'm hoping that I'll sell enough challenge packs by then to get it, but so that's just hard for being able to share. Like, I can't share the book and all of the other stuff, but I'm just trying to think of ways to promote it so I can get people in there.
Yeah, I love that. I think, Kate, have you used the containers?
Yeah, and I have the container, so I can show that. It's just like I can't show the logbook, the workbook, you know, all of that extra stuff.
I mean, as the tricky part is, I was gonna say, I can send you like a quick little video of me like thumbing through one of them or something, which I totally will if you want to. I guess the side part is you want to be authentic, right? And you want to be real, and you want to be honest about it, and not be like, look at this program that I'm doing. Like, you wouldn't say, I know you wouldn't say that, but at least use it as a, look at this amazing program that's just come out. I'm really excited about this. I think the fact that you've used the containers, you can talk about what the containers are. I mean, you know the program, Stacy, like, it really is just 21 Day Fix nutrition on steroids. Like, that's really what it is. Like, it's Autumn Calabrese's, it's Autumn letting us into her brain and learning all about the like nitty gritties of like, I mean, things like macros and like all that stuff. Like, I've never thought about that, never cared. I've just followed the portion controls. But the information that she gives us in the videos is really giving us just an education behind why these work and how they work and things like that. So I would say continue to share the portion control containers, continue to share how they've helped you. Like, you can talk about the program because you have basically done the program. You just haven't done the ultimate portion fix of gaining all of the education. So I would say don't let that slow you down from talking about it, and don't be afraid to say, to talk about how we have a support group starting right away for people who want to dive right in. And you can either mention that you're going to do this later, like that now's just not the time for you, but you're excited to help people who are ready to do this, or not even mention it. I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference to the people following you, whether or not you're doing it. They're going to come off of your excitement for the success that people can have in this program. I don't know, Amber, do you have any other thoughts pertaining to that?
I was just going to piggy bank off of that, where Stacy, I would just share, like, because you can just track it like you normally do. And there is an app, so you could show them how to use the app. That's free, I'm pretty sure. And then I would just, in my invites, I would just say something like, if this was my first time with Portion Fix, like, this is how I would want to do it. So you don't even have to necessarily say that you're not doing it, but just be like, if I was learning it for the first time, this is the way to learn it. And so it can kind of be like, you figured it out, but like, this is way more user-friendly for people who haven't figured it out. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, this is what I'm doing. Example post, I think I saw one of your posts actually about it. And then you can just be like, if I was going to dive in, this is how I would do it. And then just kind of keep it that way. You know what I mean? Just kind of like something like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I love that. That's a good idea.
Because not everybody will be, but the truth is like, it really is just the 21-day fix. It's just a way deeper dive, and it will help people who are struggling with like sugar addiction. And I do think that the kid recipes are going to be really dynamite. But that's where, there's going to be lots of people sharing. It's kind of like, we have the portion containers, but you can also look up a cheat sheet for it. You know what I mean? Like, we also can just say half a cup equals, this and this. And so it's like, there has to be enough ways that we can get our hands on the resources, even if we're not in it, and enough to help people through it, and just kind of that way. So.
Yeah, whatever you do, do not be afraid to talk about this, even if you're not doing it. Eventually, all of you guys are going to be at a point in your business where investing back into your business by buying the new programs is not going to be a big deal. And I'm so excited for you guys to all get to that point, because it is, it's fun and it's exciting. And to be honest, I love getting my hands on the new programs and jumping right in. So that's going to happen for you guys. But it's only going to happen if you continue to be consistent with showing up every day and getting behind these launches, whether you are personally going to be doing them or not. And I mean, get creative, think outside the box. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are tons of ways that you can reach people with this without showing them the actual, like, here they are, these are the things. Like, you don't have to do that to have success with this. People need help. Like, people need help with their nutrition, and you have access to the tools to help them. Like, you can give them the tools. So I think that's something to remember.
Sorry, Angela.
No, go ahead, Amber.
And also, like, for anybody on this team, like, invite with confidence, because your people will get the support that they need. Like, that group will offer it to them, and our job always is just to make sure that they're getting what they need and, like, being the support. And so even if you can't watch the same video that they're watching that day, who cares? Like, you have people doing 21-day or like Turbo Fire right now, and you're not doing that, but you can still support them through it. And so you're still holding them accountable, and that tracker app and that group and everything will be enough of the, like, know-how support, and then it's just you on top of that. So invite with confidence to the group that that, like, they will have everything they need to successfully get through the program.
Absolutely. And I feel like a lot of the little questions that might come up, you're going to be able to answer anyways, whether you have the program or not. I had a girl asking about, like, shoving eggs into a red container, and I was like, no, 2 eggs is a red. Like, I was like that, you don't have to do that. Like, you don't have to figure that out. And she's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So I think that a lot of the questions that are going to come up, you'll be able to answer. And even if you can't, we have a team of a bunch of us who are doing the program and who have the videos and who have access to all of the workbooks. So if someone sends you a message and they're like, what does this mean? And you're like, I don't know, because I don't have that. You message one of us who are doing it, and we help you. Like, That's just what the team is all about. So you don't need to stress about that part. I'm excited about this, you guys. I'm super pumped about this launch, and I hope you guys are too. I think this is going to be, like, I think this could be a major game changer in, like, just in the Beachbody world. Like, I personally like 2B Mindset, but I love the containers. Like, I'm like kind of slightly obsessed with them. I just love knowing that my body is getting exactly what it needs. And you guys, like, I mean, I'm trying to think outside the box too, because I'm going to be done exercising in about 6 weeks for about 6 weeks. So this is a program that I can advertise like crazy and hopefully see some pretty cool results with while I'm like coming off of just having a baby, just from how I'm fueling my body from the Ultimate Portion Fix. So, I mean, my motivation is to show people what's possible. So I will be tracking a lot and taking lots of pictures, and you guys are going to be more than welcome to use them and to share them. But this is, I mean, everyone has to eat. So this is the program that absolutely everyone can benefit from. So like Amber said, be confident in your invites, be confident in your posting, and be confident. I mean, I have so much dang confidence in this business, like in this company. I'm like, they're never going to put anything out there that doesn't work. Like, everything Beachbody launches is flipping amazing. I'm so excited. I've got some people who like won't use the performance line because they're vegan. Well, we now have a vegan like recovery. It kind of, Kimmy's like, yes, I know. I'm so excited for you guys. So they're definitely like, they're always trying to come up with new things that are going to help us and just help us live healthier, more fulfilling lives. So have confidence in all of it. Amber, I think I've worn out my welcome. I just keep talking.
All right. That was awesome. That was perfect. Now I have to watch the recording so I can catch the rest of that. But I do love what you said about the scheduling and how it is a good time to be talking about the business. And yeah, so think about that as you're writing your posts, as you're crafting your posts, like, how would this benefit somebody, and then just go from there. But yeah, that was awesome. So
super quick, actually, well, you just made me think of it. I had a girl yesterday who was like, I don't know, price objection. We get them all the time, you guys. Like, I'm 5 years in and I'm still getting them every day, right? Like the price objections. And those used to scare me, and I used to be like, oh, I understand. Just let me know when you're ready or whatever. Now I'm like, girl, join our business. Like, become a coach so that you don't have to worry about $160 or whatever the case is. Like, you can help people and you can help yourself and you can grow a business. So when people bring up price objections, don't let that deter you from saying, hey, you should jump in and do this business with me because it's awesome and it's fun. And we got into honestly, like an all-day conversation. Like, I had to leave her for a few hours and I came back and I was like, sorry, I had to do my afternoon, like, mom taxi job, But she had a ton of questions like, well, how long does it take? Just kind of all of those questions. And I was like, that's up to you. Like, that's like you can earn your money back, your investment back in a couple of days, or it can take you a couple of months. It depends on what you want to put into this. So it was fun to just even have a big conversation about coaching that stemmed from her saying, I don't know if I can swing the money, but I really want to do that program. So she's still thinking about it. But anyways, that was just another thought of a conversation I had yesterday that I'm sure we all get price objections. So think about that.
All right, awesome. Let's take a quick picture. Okay, everybody smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, awesome. I'll put that on our team page. So, all right.
Hang on, I want one too. Just really fast. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right.
Okay, you ladies are awesome. Have a fantastic Tuesday. We'll check in again.
Love you guys.